Hi, I'm Sharon Pearson. Welcome to Perspectives. If you're joining the show, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at sharon.pearson.official. You can send us an email to perspectives@sharonpearson.com. Love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy this week's episode, brought to you by The Ultimate You book, available online and in bookstores. And here's the show. So Sasha, if you could come on down.
Yes.
So, are you in a good place?
I am.
Fantastic. And you're called to do this, which I think is just so generous of you and graceful. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
you. I'm delighted again to be
Okay,
here.
thank you.
Wonderful.
Can we connect, please? Rub it in. Rub. Thank you. I love it. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for our previous conversation. That was very insightful, and I was so delighted with the territory we traversed together.
So was I. It was incredible. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So much to it.
So would you mind would you mind sharing a little bit about how you've been going, just so I can tune in to where you're at today? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the most outstanding part of our session and then post it has been that the discovery of so much brilliance in my daughter, and so much brilliance in her just being who she is without me needing to shift or focus or change or put some sort of a mask on her. It is just seeing her, and there has been some wonderful shifts which I'm sure will come out. The thing for me that has been really amazing is that I haven't overindulged, and I think that's where it was. I was overindulging in the guilt and the emotions, and I'm very much of the philosophy, feel to heal. But I do now recognize that can just be self-indulgent as well if it goes on for too long or too far, making that distinction. So the beauty of it is that I can feel compassion for those moments for her and myself, but I don't need to do the extra, because the compassion would lead me to, but I did, and really take me down that journey of guilt and feeling as though she's not good enough, I'm not good enough, this is a big mess and all of that kind of a thing. Whereas I have not since our session indulged in that, which has been so wonderful. Yes, I know. Thank you. And if I can say, I love that we didn't focus on that in our session.
Yeah.
Focusing on that would
Tell
have
me
just
about that.
kept me stuck, because I thought maybe that's where you would go, and we would delve into the origins and all of that kind of thing. But I think you recognize that I'd done that excessively and extensively, so that it didn't need to be that. And as I mentioned to you just recently, it was that reframe of, look at how wonderful my daughter is doing within all of this control that I was giving her. She's doing her emotions her way, and I couldn't reach those. And that reframe was, oh my God, it was amazing, because it just, it really brought out her brilliance. And that's what I think I wasn't, I'm going to use past tense, I wasn't seeing in her, that this is actually her strength and her gift. And that was massive. That was absolutely massive. And to be fair, she's been giving me a bit of back chat. And I know a lot of parents would be going, no, you can't back chat me. I'm loving it. I'm like, yeah, give me some back chat. Show me your spunk. Show me it. Yeah. Like I asked her the other day, I said, honey, why are you so emotional? She goes, Mum, I just am, okay? And that's just how it is. And I'm like, brilliant. Whereas in the past, I might have seen that as a sign of disrespect or some other bullshit. No, I'm sorry, I just swore on the podcast. Some other mess, some other thing. Yeah. And so no, I'm loving that she's bringing more of her, and that is exactly what I wanted from this, is for her to bring more of her and not just be this little carbon copy of what I thought she should be like.
Yeah.
So it's been outstanding.
And just kudos to you. One of the things I truly, oh my God, just totally dig about you is you're so incredibly committed to you and your family. And every part of the conversation, I can just tell every part of the conversation, all your own reflections, you just ran with it. It's, yes. You have literally just embraced it in the time in between. And I'm not taking any credit because you showed up ready to go. It's so good to see.
Thank you. Thank you. And it really was at that point that I was going, enough is enough. This has to shift. This has to change. Yeah. So I was so ready. And the way that you were able to change or help me change my perspective was what I needed. Because I was doing this for so long that it was just, okay, where's my new perspective? And I got that. So that was outstanding.
Just delightful. Just delightful to hear. Now, tell me what's transpired. Is there something around that is worth bringing to the table in terms of how things have transpired, so we can drop into today's session from where you're now at and maybe start working on some next things to consider?
Yeah, absolutely. So the podcast that we did, the session that we did, I heard, and then the next day I absolutely cocked it up. The very next day I was like, okay, that day I was like, I've got this plan and I'm so inspired, I'm so excited. And then the next day I reverted straight back into the rigidity, the control, which was excellent because I really learned the contrast then. I now have this new way of seeing things, but I am still human and I'm still learning and I'm still going to mess this up. And that's okay. And that's where
let's pause and acknowledge that, because that's not where you were at. And I hope I can just, you've already seen, let's just shine a torchlight on that you're recognizing now the self-awareness is so in tune now to the situation and to your play in this dynamics. You're recognizing when you show up as one or the other. That's tremendously empowering for you and for her.
Yes, exactly. And I could see the impact on her with greater focus because I have that new way of looking at it, that contrast. And I could see that it was just not working for us. And I knew the evidence of that, but it really highlighted it. And I was so pleased actually that I did mess it up. Like there's so many learnings that can come from that rather than me just going off and doing it all wonderfully. Messing it up along the way is I think key to the growth and to the learnings and to embed that as we go along.
It sounds like you forgave yourself in real time. There wasn't any beating yourself up. You didn't do the guilt trip. So tell me about that. I'd love to hear more about that piece.
Yeah, thank you. And that's exactly what I did. I just went, okay, I've made a mess of that. How good that I know something different now, and how good is this? So it's almost that I flipped it from where I would go of, I've messed it up again, to I've messed it up again. And this is actually cool because it's shown me a greater not even in greater importance. What would be the word? A greater sense of, wanting of the new way and knowing confidence that it can be different, I think is it.
Yeah.
For me, in my own experience of me and how I've been with her, and also her experience of that. So it just shone the light on, this is the old way, but it's okay that it's still there. It doesn't have to be perfectionism, or it doesn't have to be anything but, really, I just showed that I was human and I was okay in my humanness. That's the word I was looking for. That, I'm not going to get this right all the time. And the forgiveness piece in that is new, and I relish it. I relish the forgiveness that I'm giving myself. Yeah.
It really suits you. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. And how have you noticed any ripple effects beyond yourself to your daughter or to other family members? What are you observing there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the talking back and her being quite definitive in how she is has been, I used to find that difficult, but now I'm finding it that her definitiveness I'm loving in her. Like she will say, no, I'm not ready to do that. I'm like, yep, sweet. You give yourself as much time as you need. Whereas I'd be like, come on, because I'm a fast mover, fast talker, fast action taker. And she is slower. And I think I've tried to make her fast when now I'm honoring.
Yeah. Get it. I get it.
Yeah. I'm honoring the time. Like she might need to process things a bit more slowly, or she might need to move a bit more slowly. And I'm allowing her, now I'm actually giving her a lot more autonomy in the sense of, you tell me what you would like to do. Or if there's a big decision, because we want to move her into her own room because we feel that that's important for her own development and where she is. And I said, honey, you let us know when you're ready for that. Rather than, we've booked in this weekend, we're doing it, this is what's happening. It's very much when you let us know. Or is that an idea that you would like to play with? Have a sleep on it, let me know tomorrow, or let us know tomorrow, or the next day. And so I'm allowing her more space so that she has less resistance. Because when I'm going, come on, she just builds up this big resistance wall and it ends up being a power struggle.
You're creating this.
That's it, yeah.
Instead, it's now the
flow. Yeah, flow. And the flow creates a greater connection between us. Whereas I thought that if she does what I want her to do, that would be us being connected. It was very messed up, actually. Like now I've got perspective. I'm like, what on earth was I thinking? Like, where was I coming from? And yeah, the perspective has just shifted enormously.
Wow. And what are you noticing in her? Has there been any shift in the dynamic just for her? Maybe not in terms of relating to you, but what about for her?
Yes. So my mum's here at the moment, and we haven't seen mum for 5 months, I think, because of COVID. She lives up near Byron Bay. And she came to me, she said that she has changed so much. And I'm saying, what do you mean? And she said she's less shut down. She's more like happy. She's more joyful. She's more interested, she's more communicative. And I know that that's been a process that mum hasn't seen all of, but I have absolutely seen that growth within her in this short period of time since we spoke. I think it was a month ago. And her inquisitiveness, her curiosity. And so the messaging that I've been giving her has been, you are loved and you are safe, and whatever decisions you want to make right now, there's no right or wrong in it. You just go with how you need to be in this moment, and iterations of that. Obviously, I don't say that sentence the same way, but it's given her, because I think I was very right, wrong, that kind of a process. Was now I'm allowing that flow and allowing her to see that she doesn't need to get it right. Her decisions can get messy, and that's okay, but she's always in that safe container of love, which I think is the overarching thing. Like, honey, you are loved. We love you so much. We want you to be who you are. And seeing her flourish within that has been so rewarding. Like, I almost want to cry. Like, it has just been... and I don't get it right all the time. Like, it's not like I'm painting this picture of amazing Eden of garden of joy. There are times that I'm messing it up still, but it's the moments in between those that I'm noticing the shift in her. And look, I don't know what more I can say, but the fact that
I'm feeling this sense. It's lovely to have someone outside to reflect it back to you, because then you're not making it up.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. I'm not just putting my rose-coloured glasses on and going,
I'm sure it's better.
That's it. It's that external check. Totally. Yeah.
And I'm hearing a sense of weight being released from the family.
Oh, massive.
Is that an accurate metaphor? I'm hearing a feeling of weight coming off.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely a weight from coming off me, but you're right, it has impacted the family differently because there's less outbursts, there's less of a power struggle between her and I, And there's less of that sort of kind of a feeling. I can't really explain it outside of those noises for some reason, but it's that it is that things are flowing more easily.
The word I use, is this helpful? Brittle.
Yes, ready to shatter at any moment into fragments. Yes, I love that. Yes, that's spot on. It's less brittle, you're right, it's more malleable. And
yes.
It's
that's more squishy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rather than snap.
Yes. Yeah. And also how she's interacting with her sisters is how would I describe this? There's still, tension between siblings, like there should be and is, because that's how they learn how to navigate, right? But it feels less intense. It feels a little bit more forgiving. There's more forgivingness in there, because I think I'm being more forgiving with her, so she's extending that out to her sisters. And we've sat down and we've talked values, and I did it.
Wow.
Like you suggested, and look at this, we're right in the middle
Wonderful.
of values. That's it. And we tried it as a family, but it got very fragmented, because I think everyone was, there was a 7 and a 5-year-old. I thought they would really love the discussion, whereas I took it and I spent a bit of time with my eldest and just asked her, what's important to you, and how do you want this family to run? Like, what are the things that you would like to see us do more of? What are the things that are important to you? And she came up with this list. And are you okay if I share that?
Oh, are you kidding? Yes. Please. You can't leave me hanging.
No, that's cool. And they're simplistic, and they're appropriate for a 9-year-old, and they're beautiful. And so I think I mentioned to you that I didn't think I was that creative, but I was talking about the fact that my stepfather's an artist, and I've got all these incredible brothers that so creative, and I was comparing myself to that. Whereas she and they are my daughters are also very creative. So creativity, when they get creative, I just back away, and I'm like, they're in their creative zone. So creativity was one. Fun, obviously, being a 9-year-old, you want to have fun. Being caring towards each other, being kind towards each other, having better communication, which I thought was really insightful of her, because when I'm in that sense of mum mode where I'm rigid, right, you've got to clean your teeth, you've got to, blah, 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 it's just it's a bark rather than a, come on girls, we've got to get this, there's an objective that we need to focus on, we've got to, let's keep moving us towards that. And so the communication I thought was really, really great. And then she said, Lego. Right. Lego is life here at our house.
Lego is life. Life is Lego. And I actually do agree with her.
I
have Lego. I find it incredibly beautiful thing to do. So when she says communication and appreciating her age, did you manage to have a conversation about that being with both of you? So it's not just you communicating, it's her communicating? How was that experience?
Yeah, so she goes to bed half an hour later than the other girls, and even that has helped her flourish, because she's being treated differently and she gets extra mummy and daddy time. And what happens during those moments is that we talk, and I ask her, how's everything going? I ask her, what's happening? Sometimes she chooses to read, which is great. Other times she's like, Mummy, I really want you to find me a meditation that I'd like to do. And so, she loves to meditate before she goes to bed.
It's fantastic. What 9-year-old doesn't? Oh my God.
I know.
Well, I was doing it 9.
I wish I was. And there's ones on Insight Timer that have a course, and then there's a parental thing. So she will do the meditation, then it'll pop up as a question, and then she'll come and say to me, Mummy, this is what I chose, and we'll have a discussion around why she chose that. And so that's where the communication's really flowing so much better.
This is truly flourishing.
Yeah, it is. And I really love that little half an hour with her. It might just be that she's snuggled up to me on the couch reading, but there's that physical connection, because she craves that. And that's another thing that I really noticed in her. She's reaching out for that more. And she's
good on you. Good on you.
Yeah, I know.
Creating that space for her. Oh, that's just beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's a culmination of all of these things that allowing her just to. It's not adjust. I'm going to take that word out because that minimizes. It's for her to flourish within herself, but within the comfort of us. And it's just beautiful. Like, it's just, if I think about how amazing this little girl is, and the shift that she's made, because if I look to 6 or 12 months ago, she was quite shut down, not very communicative, and I recognized that she wasn't allowed the space to be her slower moving, more creative self. Because I was so about action and, process and let's get these things going. So I'm enjoying her so much more than I ever have as a result. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for those insights. And I love your self-awareness. I love how you're experiencing joy around your daughter, which is just beautiful to see. Your eyes are alight around it. You're so much more relaxed around here. There's just a real sense of, yay! There's a playfulness about you with it. It's just really delightful to see.
Yes.
So where would you like to go today?
Oh, what a great question. I didn't know where we'd go today. I was just happy to flow on in and see what was happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's come up for you? So I can ask a couple of different questions to help get you thinking about it. What's come up for you within this that we can maybe focus on you now and how you're showing up? Or we can extend it beyond you to other family members, intimate relationship, or we can extend it just in terms of how you'd like to shape the next 12 months or something else. There are many directions we can explore and play.
Yeah. So there's two things that have come up and we'll just explore and discover. One of those is that there is still me jumping back into mum mode. And I do believe that there's an importance to be in mum mode, but I do find that I slip back into that. Okay, you've got, you can't play until you've had your teeth. You can't, if we're trying to leave to get to school, my motto is do all your jobs, do all of your chores, and then you can play. So the sooner you do those, the more fun you'll have, because the more fun you'll get to play. But I do find that I can get a little bit rigid still in that. But I think that that's just, I don't know why I'm second guessing that, because it's still an important thing that we get out the house and get to school. So there's that. 3 elements, Sasha, to that. If you may want to go there. The 3 elements are why you do that. So let's get clear on that. What it is you do, and then really significantly how you do it. So energetically, how you do it, does that make sense? So yes, it does.
What you do is very consistent parenting, which creates healthy boundaries. If you're clear about why you're doing it and how to do that. Because there's a difference between boundaries and control. So that's the piece there that you might want to unpack. And what was the other one?
So it was that, and then focusing in on what you said, from here to the next 12 months, what that could look like, where that could go. So actually, I think it's the first that I'd like to focus on, because I do think maybe my how is slipping back into old patternings of, come on, we've got to go, come on, fast. And I know that rattles everyone. And it would be lovely to, again, have another perspective shift on how I can get them to do what needs to be done, because there is always things that, personal hygiene, all those things still need to happen.
Yeah, they do.
That, but maybe it's the approach that I'm taking is still needing a little shift. I'm not sure.
Well, share with me how it's playing out. Give me a snapshot of how it looks to you.
What looks to me is that I slip into a persona of mum. So then I'm like, okay, I'm in mum mode. So then this is how we do things, and that rigid, or maybe it's more structure of, right, we need to get this and we need to go and we need to get these things done. So the end result I'm always focused on, and that is to get to school on time, or to leave the house, you know, do whatever, you know, we've got to go somewhere. I think but I think this is just a decision that I can change that. I actually don't know if it needs to be fully unpacked thinking about it. It's just a choice to do it differently.
So tell me about that.
Well, because where I feel I was going was that I was thinking that I was stuck in doing it mum mode way, but I'm not. I have any opportunity available to me to shift that. And it's just a choice of how would I go about that. And I think what I could do more so is involve them in the reasons why. So this is the outcome. This is what we're looking to achieve. How about we decide on how that's going to go? So less I am the leader, more, or actually I wouldn't even say leader is the right word, less the martyr, and be more of a leader.
Keep going.
Yeah. So again, what that does is it shifts from that, or like, you know, dogmatic approach to how do we work in together? How do we meld in together to get this result done? What are the different things that you can do, so that it's allowing them autonomy, and it's allowing them a freedom within the bounds of where we need to go, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's delightful. Yeah. Carry on. Please. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So paint a picture for me about how it would be if it was ideal. Keep in mind they've got different ages. So developmentally, that they'll need more hinting questions to get autonomy than perhaps a 9-year-old. So give me an idea of what that might look like when all three have to get out of the house at the same time.
Yeah.
Give me your ideal, or how you think it could be.
Yeah. So the 5-year-old, I definitely still help, and she asks for help more. And of course, I'm there to give it. So a lot of the time I'm like, I'll actually make it a game, and I'll say to her, if you get dressed now, you're going to be the first one ready before your sisters. And she's like, quick. And she gets it done. So that's creating that fun in it. But really my objective is I'm going to get you sorted now before I have to go and do these XYZ things, so that I know that you're halfway there. So it's that playfulness that you mentioned earlier, bringing that fun and then maybe a little bit of adventure into it. And so the ideal would be that everyone knows what they need to do. They ask for help where they need it, but I don't have to constantly saying, where are your shoes? Where are your shoes? Where are your shoes? Put your shoes on, put your shoes on, put your shoes on, you know, like it can be now, because they're over relying on me to guide them and drive them.
Yes.
So it would be, the ideal would be that they are knowing what needs to be done and doing it because they delight in the idea of being able to have control in their own days and ways in how they do it, rather than it being externalized. So we're talking about external and intrinsic motivation, aren't we, really?
Yes, we are.
I would love them to be more intrinsically motivated, but I've taught them to be extrinsic.
Yeah.
So
I'm hearing a lovely shift in energy there. Your kids won't make it that easy for you.
No. We were talking ideals.
We did do the ideal. Now we've done the dream room. Now let's do, okay, there's some stuff we're going to need to think about. So what can you think about to help move them towards the ideal? Knowing it's not happening literally tomorrow morning, because shoes don't magically appear just because we get that's such a basic thing to have happen. What are some of the ways perhaps you can think about to start shifting them developmentally appropriately towards a level of self-autonomy, as you say, rather than controlled?
Yes, yeah. I think, isn't that funny? Okay, let me just have a think. I'm trying to, it's funny because I immediately go to, if I tell them, if we agree as to the reasons why we need to do something, then you'll do it. But it's not as easy as that, because putting shoes on is obvious. We need to put shoes on before we go out of the house. So I'm starting from that point. That's not it. So what is it? And it's, I love this because I actually don't know. And that's what's really cool, because that means it's something really cool on the other side of me not knowing.
Well, it also explains why you've done it the way you've done it.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Because it's what's been available to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are there strengths within them you can draw on? Do you draw on your youngest sense of playfulness?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's fun. Well, the next one, anytime I say, okay, it's time to go to this, wait. So her favorite word is wait. Like, I'm not ready yet. I will make that decision for myself. So I guess that's her trying to create some autonomy. And into when I do that, I will do it when I'm ready, though that doesn't always translate to her actually doing it. So I suppose it would be a sense of, you know what you need to do. She's almost 8. You know what you need to do. And this is the time frame that we're going to be leaving the house in. So how about you do the things that you think you need to do when you're ready to do them? But knowing that this is the, 8:30, for instance, if we're going to school, 8:30 is the time that we need to go. So how about you manage yourself within that, ask for help. But I'm just going to let you see how you go with that, because it's about you learning to trust that you can do it without me. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Where are we on consequences? So is the 8-year-old or the 9-year-old mature enough to handle that there could be consequences in real time? I'm not expecting them to understand delayed consequences, like going to school without shoes, but can they understand that it chews up playtime if they...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Though at the same time, that's where I get dogmatic. No, I've said to you, you can't play until all of your jobs are done, because they've got to make their bed and that's where I get dogmatic. So I'm actually wondering whether, if they know when we need to leave, and if they can interweave playing and getting ready, then that outcome might be better for them, because they have more autonomy around, well, I'm just going to play for a bit and then I'm going to eat my toast while I play, and then I'm going to go and get dressed. So I think...
Who says that it has to be work then play?
Yeah, that's it.
Or a 9-year-old.
Yeah. Well,
maybe we should all be playful.
That's it. So maybe it's that needs to happen more, is that, well, I guess what it is that I've seen the evidence of them playing and not being ready, and then we're rushing and it's a mad panic out the door. So I've seen the evidence of that. So that's why I swapped it. But they were a lot younger then. So it's, well, how do I let them now decide how they go about their morning, provided that the benchmarks are set?
Yes. Yeah, clear consequences. So they'll just lose your playtime if you don't get ready, but that's okay. That's up to you if you want to lose the playtime. Let me know what's going to suit you best.
Yeah.
And then have the experience of a consequence. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know them enough to know the personalities that's going to work for them. Because some people, young people sometimes really think in terms of short-term, 5-minute, they can barely do 5 minutes of consequence. So I'll let you gauge their ability to anticipate a feeling of, I didn't get to play, or anticipate the feeling of, I'm now not going to be ready. I don't know them enough to know that. Does that make sense? So
yes.
Fill in the blanks there in terms of how much guidance is going to be required.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that it would have happened in the past would be, we are leaving the house now. If you don't have your shoes and your water bottle and your lunch, you're going without them. And that would be enough. But that's really fear-based, and I don't want that to be the motivation. So it's what I want to reduce in this is
playful about it. Yeah. What about the playful approach? Okay, no shoes and water bottle today. Okay, if that's the choice.
Yep. That's right.
So that's your preference, because that's true autonomy, is making poor choices is a choice. It's just, again, gauging developmental appropriate responses.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to be the controlling parents until they hit 13 and they can stand up to it. Yeah. So the rebellion's coming anyway, but it's like however long you keep the control, and there's going to be a point where it's going to come off. So it's just working out how much is required in terms of guidance versus balancing it, how much autonomy are they ready to develop.
Yes.
That's where you're at, rather than what I've been hearing you do, if I may, is just the absolute, just I will nag, you will be ready, it will be my way. It's now playing with a bit more grey zone and getting rid of that black and white thinking. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, and within that, it allows them the space for the autonomy, which I haven't allowed so much. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to get messy. Go for it.
Yeah, definitely. Or when they've tried to get that autonomy, I've undermined it. I'm like, no, we're getting ready now. We're not waiting. We're getting ready now. That's it.
Good insight. Good insight.
That's the distinction, is that undermining of that autonomy. Yeah.
I felt my belly relax with that one. Did you feel like it was? Yeah, that felt a bit looser. I like that.
Yep.
Where are you on the planning ahead the night before thing? Is that something to throw into the mix?
Yeah, we've not so great. I'm a let's get into the action, dynamo, do it now kind of a thing. So we have, I mean, we know exactly what they need to do for for that day. They've got sport, or they've got music, or they've got whatever. And they like, my middle child will look at that and go, oh, what have I got today? Okay, I'm in this uniform today. So she can self-manage that. They each know what they've got on, except for the little one. She needs a bit of help. Sorry, the question?
Well, it was a fine question, but I like your answer better. But anyway, I'll go back to my question. My question was about, is there something to explore around pre-preparation? Yes. Because shoes getting lost in a rush isn't changing with an 8-year-old anytime soon. Like, that's literally the job of a shoe of an 8-year-old, is to be lost at 8:29. That is the role of the shoe. It has one job, to be missing when required. So if you're noticing that's where this is going on, maybe take that away rather than you being all flow in the morning, because the reality is you got to get out the door at 8:30 and you have to, there are certain things you're responsible for getting done. Is there anything in the pre-planning that would take this off the table? Because the answer is going to be there. You do it with them. I'm not saying you do it for them.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, they each know where they put their bags. They know that when they come home, they put their lunch boxes on the thing, and they each put their shoes in the place where the shoes go. So we actually don't suffer from lost shoes very often as a result, which is
okay.
We used to, but not anymore. We have a system now.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That's it. I make sure that they've that they've got their hat. I put their lunch boxes, so they put them into their bags, and I ask them to find their bottles. So so all of that is done. They know that morning what they need to get dressed into, whether it's sport or non-sport. So that is, it's very set up for them, in the sense that it's not a hodgepodge of disaster. We don't know what's going on. It's actually quite clear what has to happen. It's the childhood distractions that come along the way. Oh yeah, I've got to go get dressed. Oh, but look at that shiny thing, and it's that shiny thing that I've been stopping them from doing, because it is such a distraction to getting ready. But I'm actually thinking that setting it up with them differently can allow for those moments of them just to go off on a little tangent. Sometimes I'm like, girls, why don't you get up and get ready? I get dressed straight away, and they're like, no, I want to have breakfast in my pajamas. I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm going, let's be efficient. And as soon as you wake up, get dressed, and then you've only got to do your shoes, hair, teeth, and eat, and you're done. So, my thinking is like, let's prepare. Whereas their thinking is, I'm a child and I just want to play, and, I'm just going to cruise on in whenever I want to. And that, I think there can be a mix of those two things, is what I'm discovering. It doesn't have to be.
As long as we get to the outcome, as long as we pull out of the house at 8:30, we put it down as a win.
That's it.
It's 3 young kids out the door at 8:30. You should be throwing parties with champagne at 8:31. I don't know what you're doing in your household, but right now I think that's incredible. So
It is. It's a mission, I got to say. That, well, actually, I'm going to even find it even more and go. And sometimes I'm exhausted. I'm like, oh my God, we did it. And other days it's really cruisy, and it's the getting out of the house without the come on, shouting, come on, that intensity is when it sets us all up for a lovely day. And that's what I'm aiming for. That sense of,
so let's take that.
This happened really nicely.
Yeah, let's take that. So tell me how you create that.
Well, that's the funny thing. Some days it magically all comes together and you go, okay, what is the replicability in this? Because that was the one. We all just wander out. I'm like, girls, have you got everything? They're like, yeah. And we all sit in the car and we play the tunes and I drive them to school and it's all flow and it feels wonderful.
Mm.
It's so those moments are fantastic. It's when it's like, come on, we're gonna go. Where's your shoes? I told you to get your water bottle. Why don't you have your water bottle? It's that I just want to let go.
Okay, so what are you going to replace it with? Tell me about this flow day. What do you say about the water bottle on this flow day when there's great tunes in the car?
That's it. So, there's a preparation that we spoke of, night before preparation or morning preparation of, okay, let's just find our water bottles, or, I could create it as a game. First one to find
You're noticing the difference in the tone, I'm sure, aren't you?
Totally, yeah. And the energy.
Yeah.
Totally. So it depends on how much patience
thinking about that tone.
Oh, yeah, it's exhausting. Yeah. I'm full of energy to do it, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exhaust me,
That's lovely. Yeah, good.
That's the difference. And I think it is bringing more playfulness, really, truly. It's like, first one to find their water bottle can, gets a gold star. I mean, we don't do gold stars in this house, so it's a poor example, but, the first one to get their water bottle,
chooses the song in the car.
There you go. That's it. So there's a nice outcome to it. Yeah, I like that.
That's it. I'm linking it to the why, because when you describe the flow, it really eggs it on the strategy where there's fun and tunes in the car.
Yes.
So that seems significant. They're very creative kids. They're going to love choosing the tune and rocking along with you. It's creating a really positive energy for the morning, which sets them up for the day.
Yeah, totally. And that's that positive energy that I think we all crave for the morning routine. Yeah. Yeah.
And what about the playfulness of who's thinking about the tune we're going to play in the car? Let me know the tunes you want to hear today. So just as the morning's going about, instead of have you got your water bottle, it becomes who's thinking, I'm thinking about the tune I want to play, or something like that. Just link you to the ultimate great outcome. When there's flow, it's fun, playful, and there's tunes in the car.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Rather than, so, okay, if we find what we need to do, the first one to do that, gets to choose the song. And because they each have... I was doing it,
it's that, but I was also shifting away from being competitive as well. Some days it's just, I'm already thinking about the song we're going to be playing. I get it. So sometimes it's playful competition, sometimes it's just playful, and sometimes it's goal orientated about, wow, I'm thinking about the song, the exit to the strategy.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so rather than just it's the first two, which is still you kind of doing the controlling thing if you do it all the time.
Yeah, that is so cool. It's that.
And I don't think her eldest is really designed for competition so much. I think she's more in the moment flow kind of person. So shaking it up, mixing up the how you do it.
Yes. She's definitely non-competitive. The other two are very competitive with each other. But you're right. So it's the outcome. It's all of the things that happen to lead us to that point and focusing on that. I just love that, Sharon. That is just, it is landed fully for me. I get it. Yeah, because that is what we, there's nothing more frustrating than when we get in the car and it's all ads. And we're like, where's the music? We need the music. And it's literally a 3-minute drive to the school. But
you need to have a song ready to go that you love. You've got to choose this song. Oh, we can't have ads for 3 minutes. I feel you. I've been in that situation. It's like, what a downer. I don't want to hear about Carpet Call. I really want to hear a song.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's like having it ready, and they each have because of their age, different musical tastes. And so I know that will drive them, for them to listen to, like my eldest can sing incredibly, and she can listen, she keeps up with Sia. And so for her to put on a Sia song, she's belting out her tune, she's in the moment, and just loving it. Whereas the little one, more, or she loves, and a song that's probably not appropriate, which I won't admit to, but she loves Gangnam Style. Whoop, my Gangnam Style. And
still? Oh no, you poor thing.
I know. Oh, so yes.
So what about, and this could be a terrible idea, I'm not sure about the dynamics, what about a little list where you head towards the door where the shoes are, and it's the top 5 things that need to be done that they write up?
Yes.
And they don't have to tick it or anything. They just get to look at it and choose for themselves.
Yes. So I've already done that for them, which is, I did maybe a year and a half ago, where it's just a sense of what do you need to do? So make your bed, brush your teeth, get dressed, really basic, simple things that was age appropriate for all of them. And so that's there. Although, my daughter was like, Mum, can we take that down? I never look at it. I'm like, oh, well, that's a system that's not working then. So we have that. They know what they need to do to get ready. I think the list exists.
The thing I was thinking, Sasha, is rather than saying, have you got your water bottle, it's have you checked off the 5 things?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you stop playing the role of the micro.
Yeah.
And have them having to think about the 5 things. I was just shifting the energy a little bit away, so you're not having to I'm just imagining, you're having to monitor 3 kids, 5 items each. That's 15 things you're microing, which means they don't get to flounder and learn. Does that make sense? So totally. Have you got the water bottle is like the most leading question ever, because it's literally, you're saying that because they haven't. But if you say, have you checked your list yet? So all 5 things are done. Yeah, Mom, I've done it. Okay, do you want to have a think about that? Do you want to have a little bit of a think about that? Because maybe, and then have them have to figure out, what's Mom going, I made my bed. Great. I've cleaned my teeth. Great. And just, it's going to be tough, but just think Gangnam Style. That'll really cheer you up. And just... and have them learn the process of thinking about what they're responsible for. How's that sit?
Yeah, that's good. That's nice, because it is, if they're constantly being told, they're not developing the skill of where am I at? Where do I need to go? What hasn't been done yet? And that's really inductive thinking. Yeah. For them, it's like, where do I need to go to be able to achieve the outcome of leaving, to listen to this wonderful song that I'm going to choose. Yeah.
And obviously with a 5-year-old, you're going to get down low and say, let's go through our 5 things. And then by a certain stage, you should be, I've done my 5, high 5.
Yes, exactly.
Done your 5, let's high 5. And it becomes a bit of fun. You definitely get that freaking Gangnam song for that. You poor thing.
They love watching the video. It's just, anyway.
Oh, the things better, yes.
Well, at least it's not the Wiggles. I've got to say, at least it's not the Wiggles. My kids have never been into the Wiggles, so I'm cheering.
I was in my head thinking there's no green, red, yellow or blue, so it is not too bad a morning for a mother.
That's it. Yeah, if it's Wiggles, that would be bad. It would not be the motivation. It would not be the external tone. It would not be. It would be something else. Who gets to sing their own song in the car?
Yes. So how's that sitting with you as a frame to think about this differently?
It's lovely. It's lovely. That self-autonomy piece is what they need and what I need them to have. So I think that's wonderful. And you're right, making it more fun, more focused on the external outcome at the end of all of that stuff that we need to do because it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure then. We're in the car, we love listening to tunes, we know which tunes we like, and it's that sense of it's actually a bit of connection before they go off in their day. It's, we sing along, so it's, I love that that's turned into the focus now rather than leaving the house at 8:30.
Yes.
It's when do we get in the car and listen to these fun songs? So I love that. I love that so much.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Is there anything else you think we need to bring alive today in our conversation?
I don't think so. I think just that another perspective shift has been really lovely, because that's now a strategy that I can apply to anything that I want the kids to do. Focus on the fun outcome for them, and then feel in how they can be self-autonomous to get there. I think that's wonderful. That's really served.
Oh, awesome. What are you admiring about yourself?
Oh, gee, what a good question. Flexibility and willingness and
I get
possibility focus of like, okay, now I know how it can be different. So I can feel my energy behind it, that it's I'm going to do this. This is my new way now. So it's immediacy and commitment and dedication to this.
Love it. I love how much you're self-directing. It's I'm literally here just to observe a conversation. It's just fabulous. You just get there so quickly. I just love it. And I love your commitment to this, and I love your commitment to letting go of stuff, because you know what? You're a little highly strung like me, and I like my highly strungness. And to have kids in the mix who aren't, what you're needing to bring to the fore, which isn't a natural pace for you, I admire so much that you're doing that. Because I get what we get out of boom, boom, boom. I get a lot of gratification from that. It makes perfect sense to me that I do everything quickly so I can have the fun later. I think we're wired very similarly there. The fact that you're playing with and letting go of that and adopting new ways of doing it, I just think is really admirable. It's very inspiring.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. Yeah. And look, that slowing downness is a struggle. Like it is okay, I've just got to be patient. I've just got to, settle in. But I'm seeing the person on the other side of that flourish. And to me, that is the key, irrespective of what my little internal struggle is with it. Yes. It's that Beautiful. I'm seeing. And that's what drives it. That's what drives it forward. Yeah.
So go forward in time to a time that hasn't happened yet, and it's unfolding the way we opened with, and everything we've unpacked, and maybe this worked, or maybe it's something else that worked. There's a real flow. Just create for yourself in your mind's eye how that's feeling, looking, sounding, and being experienced by them.
Yeah, wow. So the immediate feeling is delight that they're experiencing me in a different way, that they're experiencing themselves in a different way, and that they have more room to be who they are and to develop within that space. I think it's the space that I'm really getting a sense of, that if I'm less on them, they have more space and discovery. It's like an adventure. I can see them adventuring into themselves more and adventuring into the world as themselves more, without that. I know, it's cool, isn't it? without that, well, we've talked about without what, but so let's focus on the good. And that is that,
good on you.
That they can, I want them to make more mistakes, and I want them to learn from that, and for all of that to be encouraged and to be supported. And wherever they may need me, I will be there for them in that moment. And it's the delighting in self and space and playfulness and joy and a releasing of externalized pressure, so that they can just flourish and be little bubbles in the world. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It
feels delightful. Feels delightful. Wonderful. Sasha, thank you so much. You truly are a delight. You really are. I dig you so much. I really do. I've been looking forward to this conversation so much.
Thank you so much.
If there's anything else, my pleasure. If there's anything else that you want to bring up, we can obviously do another coaching session, absolutely, in a month's time. But in the meantime, just get in touch if there's something that's coming up that you want to celebrate or share.
Amazing.
Yeah, just really into what you're experiencing and have just delight in what's happening for your family. The little thing I'd say is there's going to be messes. We know that. And I love that you're embracing that just as much as the delightful stuff. I think that's truly remarkable.
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much for your kind words. I've so appreciated this. And what this suggests to me is that it's okay to be human. And all of it is okay to be human. And that's why I'm delighting in the messes. And that's why I'm delighting in this experience with you and so much of it. So look, thank you. It has been wonderful to hang out with you. And I just love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. Thank you, Sasha. Wonderful. We're going to open it up to the room if that's okay. We're going to give you a round of applause. Let's give it up for Sasha. Go crazy. Hi, I'm Sharon Pearson. Welcome to Perspective.